What's up guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Today we're talking about 7 of the best budget blood orange blues. What is that besides what sounds like a word twister? Kind of a subgenre of the blue fragrance. Blue being a fresh or fruity fragrance that you can wear as soon as you get out of the shower. It's usually good for warmer weather. It's great for summer, for spring, for the weather that we're experiencing right now and are to experience in the coming months. So this is going to be a perfect video if you're thinking about fragrances that you can get on a budget that are excellent quality and that carry that fruit just a bit further. And I'll talk about what I mean by that. Got that and more coming up, so stay tuned. Welcome back guys to today's video, 7 of the best budget blood orange blues. What exactly do I mean by this confusing sounding title? If you're not already aware, and I'm assuming since you're watching my channel that you are aware of the blue genre of fragrances for men. Blue is just anything, kind of is a bargain basement bin word or phrase to capture all those fragrances that you wear, office friendly, that are super fresh, often fruity, very aromatic, can be a little bit spicy, but more inclined to be fragrances that you would throw on directly after a shower, maybe shower gel fresh kind of fragrance. Normally when fruit is used in a fragrance, it's often the top note, sometimes the heart note, but usually the top note. Why? Because fruit doesn't last very long. There are some notes that last the life of the fragrance, but that's if the fragrance is, primarily focusing on like the fruit, lemon, lime, orange, maybe apple, but usually fruit is used in the open because it's a nice introduction to the heart, and base notes, the ones that last a bit longer. But there is a type of fruit that normally you experience it in the open, but it often lasts the entire length, width, and breadth of the fragrance performance, and that is blood orange. Blood orange is a particular kind of warm, tangy, sweet, and inviting fruit note that again is extremely palpable and felt in men's fragrance. And today I've got 7 of the best budget blue fragrances that feature the note of blood orange. Now the first budget blue that features the note of blood orange that I'm featuring today is actually a Hugo Boss fragrance in the Boss Bottle line. It is Boss Bottled United. The very shiny fragrance that looks like it's the hull of the Boeing 747, kind of like a metallic look. Most fragrances feature blood orange in the open simply because it is a fruit, but again, unlike most fruits that dissipate by the time they hit the heart or the base, blood orange actually lasts the life of these fragrances, and that's exactly what it does in Boss Bottled United. You've got a fragrant note that's aromatic called Boohoo, you've got ozone, which is obviously an ozonic note, and then blood orange, which is a very fresh, warm, tangy, citric opening. And blood orange actually goes fantastic with mint, and that's why there's 2 kinds of mints in the heart of this, which is spearmint and peppermint, a little bit of orris as well, and then of course the fresh base of patchouli, vetiver, and cashmere. One of the best bang for your buck budget blood orange fragrances that features the note of blood orange is Boss Bottled United. Now I've said before that the red genre of fragrances is really hard to do right, but they actually got it pretty decent with this one. It's a relatively new fragrance by Mont Blanc. It is Mont Blanc Legend Red. Now, the Legend line's claim to fame, of course, is that leather note, though we're going a bit away from that leather textile and going towards more of a citrus, woody, spicy fragrance. You got cedar, juniper, and clary sage in the heart. You've got mahogany wood, atlas cedar, and tonka bean in the base, and of course that blood orange opening along with grapefruit and cardamom for a little bit of creamy sweetness in the open. Which again, blood orange is also creamy, sweet, tangy, adds a bit of tanginess, and cardamom goes right along with that in a very smooth blend. This is one of those fragrances that had to grow on me. I didn't necessarily like it at first, but it's a really nice introduction to blood orange and a great budget blue. Red in presentation, not necessarily red in genre. The red genre have like spices, like pimento, habanero, peppers, and other red spices, red ginger, things like that. That's why this is not really, red. It's just more along the lines of a blue fragrance with citrus notes. Another excellent introduction to the warm, tangy fruit note of blood orange is Hey Eau de Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana. Now before I've talked about this being more of a linen fresh, laundry fresh kind of fragrance, and it definitely is, but that introduction of blood orange, pimento, juniper berries, there's lemon, some other citrus notes that create such a fantastic smooth open that lasts again on into the heart, which is fig nectar, lavender, clary sage, some other spicy notes. It's just a very well balanced fragrance, but even in the heart and the base of this, you still carry after 30-45 minutes, after an hour or so, you still get that warm tangy note of blood orange in this, and that's why it's a great introduction to the world of blood orange and a great budget blue. Eau de Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana. Another blood orange oriented fragrance that I've really enjoyed as a budget blue is unfortunately really hard to find right now, but I ran into it the other day being day before yesterday, and I know it's not going to last, so I wanted to introduce you guys to it so that you could grab it up if you don't already have it, and that is Extreme Rush by Michael Kors. This is part of the Extreme line of fragrances. It's a great, little bit darker, a little bit heavier nighttime kind of wear for date nights or nighttime affairs. You've got blood orange, bergamot, and juniper. There's red thyme, ginger, some other notes that just, again, seamlessly blend with a note of blood orange to highlight this sweet, kind of tangy, sexy note, especially as a date night fragrance. It works extremely well. Extreme Rush by Michael Kors. And again, I've left a link below. There's only like 6 or 7 of them left on FragranceX as a 50 ml bottle, so buy them up while you can because they're soon going to be gone, being discontinued. So unfortunately, but fantastic. If you have it, use it. If you don't, get it while you can. Another favorite blood orange oriented fragrance that is a budget, now a budget blue. It wasn't budget when it first came out, but now it is the perfect price point to purchase as a really good quality fragrance by Jimmy Choo. It is Urban Hero, the Gold Edition. Yes, I've talked about it many times. It's a favorite of mine. What can I say? It's just super easy. It's a dumb grab, I'll say. You don't even have to think twice about this. It's such a great quality fragrance. Probably one of the better examples of that warm, tangy, sweet note of blood orange. And it's that really epic combination of pineapple and blood orange that sets the precedent for this budget blue fragrance. Lavender, tonka bean, sandalwood, oak moss, all part of that great orientation, performs extremely well. And again, that's why I like blood orange so much. It's not one of those here and gone fruit notes. It performs extremely well in Jimmy Choo's Urban Hero Gold Edition. Our next blood orange oriented fragrance has made a comeback. It's actually been back for a while, so I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop for it to disappear again. It's actually a Paco Rabanne fragrance. It is Ultra Red Man. It looks like one of those ray guns from the 1970s science fiction film Logan's Run. Oh man, it's so good. In this case, it's actually using a combination of like praline and blood orange. You know, praline is already warm and sweet, and then you add blood orange. Fantastic duo in this fragrance, what I term a light gourmand fragrance. You add tonka bean, patchouli, and vanilla to the mix, and you come out with Ultra Red Man. This is a sultry, seductive kind of gourmand fragrance that you can actually wear anytime. You know how most gourmands are kind of specific to colder weather. This makes a great cold weather fragrance, but you can actually wear it in warmer weather as well. It's appropriate. It wears really well, lasts even just a bit longer when you add the value of heat to it. But overall, a great introduction to the world of blood orange is Ultra Red Man by Paco Rabanne, and it's a great budget blue. Last of our budget blue or very inexpensive blue fragrances that feature the note of blood orange is actually from Rochas. It is L'Homme Rochas. Similar to Jimmy Choo Man Urban Hero Gold Edition, L'Homme Rochas features the notes in the top of pineapple and blood orange. And I think there's also a bit of bergamot in there as well. You've got juniper, geranium, basil, moss, tonka bean, some other patchouli notes that again blend seamlessly with a note of blood orange. This is more along the lines of a light blue fragrance that is fresh, and that's why I love blood orange so much. Is this more of a meaty citric fragrance as opposed to a very bright high register citrus note that is here and gone very quickly. Blood orange is part of the overall formula that makes L'Homme Rochas last as long as it does, perform as well as it does, and it just smells great. Again, another great freshy or fresh fragrance, fresh out of the shower, another great safe office scent, and overall great signature scent at an extremely great price. I've talked about all 7 of these fragrances as being budget blues, and they really are. I've got them listed below. A lot of them are actually really good tester prices, and what a tester is, often you'll get the fragrance that's been gently used, maybe 1 or 2 sprays have been used, maybe on the counter, Or maybe it was intended to be used as a tester and they never got around to using it as that. It was just purchased as a tester. So you get the benefit of that. Most of the time you'll get the lid and everything, but sometimes as a tester the lid will be missing. But that's kind of rare, especially with FragranceNet. You usually get the whole item. I want to know what your thoughts are on these fragrances, if you already own them, what your favorites are to use, and what about blood orange you appreciate, or if there are other fragrances that are blood orange oriented, that's hard to say. Let us know what those are too in the comments below. Thanks so much for stopping in and tuning in to today's video. As always, thank you so much for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.